Schedule. Our next telecast will be 2 o'clock Sunday, April 24th, when the Cleveland Indians are here. And then it all continues the next day, Monday, for a night game with the Detroit Tigers. Get to see some new uniforms with both of those teams. Now, the Indians, okay. Tigers, I don't know if I like their new road uniforms. I like that classic Tiger look. Well, you'll get to see them.
It makes Cecil Fielder look slimmer.
Well, if it does that, I guess it's okay. There's James Hurst still warming up. You know that any need here, he'll be in the game because Steve will be getting near the 100 pitch mark this inning. If he goes on target, there's a base hit right through the wicket as the first pitch is slapped right up the middle by Listash, the #2 hitter in the American League, coming into play tonight. That is the third of the game.
Well, you know that the Ranger brass, Kennedy and Osteen, want Steve Dreyer to complete the 5th and qualify for a win. But the #1 need here is a W. Somebody's W. And you know they're not going to go very far with Dreyer. In fact, he's probably given them far more than he expected right now, Greg.
Certainly, from a standpoint of effectiveness, I don't think there's any question. I think they probably were trying to get 4 or 5 innings, but they probably had no idea he'd be pitching a shutout ball before. Might have thought he'd been nicked for a run here, maybe a long ball there, but so far so good. Alex Diaz, the hitter. This also is very reminiscent of his first ever start. Remember in Arlington Stadium last year, he pitched himself out a couple of jams, but went 5 innings, didn't give up any runs. Getting back is Listash. Listash has stolen 1 out of 2. Of course, the rookie of the year in the American League in '92, injured a lot last year.
Yeah, but the Brewers, who love to run, have had almost no success running against Pudge Rodriguez over the years.
Listash, though, if he's healthy, is one that can. That pitch is wide, but he's coming back from the knee surgery.
In the last 25 games against the Rangers, Milwaukee's stolen 16 bases and been thrown out 23 times. That's only a 41% success rate against everybody else in the American League over the same amount of time. 69% effective.
Combination with the Rangers, particularly last year, the pitchers were very good at holding runners close and picking them off, and then of course you throw in Pudge's arm. But the Rangers pitching staff had to be given a lot of credit last year. They did a great job of holding runners close and a number of pickoffs.
Well, and Lee Brand, who's gone, a big part of that.
1 ball and no strikes. Swung on and missed, and now it's 1-1.
Craig, we'd like to say a special hello to another fellow named Dreyer, Jimmy Dreyer, no relation to Steve Dreyer. Jimmy's in Baylor Hospital, and he's ill, and he watched the broadcasts. Jimmy, we want you to know the organization's thinking of you, and I want you to know to hang in there. Jimmy is the scout that signed Matt Whiteside, Jeff Fry, and Steve Dreyer.
That's right. I remember the name last year when Steve came up, because we quickly checked to be sure it wasn't nepotism. It's not. They're not related.
Yeah, the scouting department especially. Sandy Johnson, the group, wanted Jimmy Dreyer to know they're thinking a lot about him and hope he's having fun watching the ball game tonight. I bet he's interested in Steve.
I would imagine so. Oh, foul tip. Pudge took that one. Not sure where, but it hurts. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, as you can probably tell from the reaction of the crowd behind us, they are attempting, I don't know, maybe they actually have one going today. They tried opening day, they tried to do a wave, and it died a inglorious death. And I'm not sure if this one's going to live either.
Well, this stadium is not conducive to the wave. Yet one more thing to like about the new ballpark in Arlington. All those tiers make it hard to keep a wave going because the folks on the mezzanine or club level, they're ordering a drink or having some hot food delivered, and they don't see it come around. And
they made it all the way around this time. That's a first, I think. Half-hearted. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's dying in the right field corner.
Fly ball left field. Gonzalez was shallow, has to go back a few steps. Now Hulse is over. Gonzalez takes the play, and that's out number 1. So Diaz retired for the 2nd time, and we'll go to Darrell Hamilton, the leadoff hitter.
Since it is the first night game, just a thought from you. We haven't seen the slightest hesitation by outfielders on anything tonight.
No, we haven't. They seem to be, the lights seem to be working pretty well. Now Kevin Kennedy has come to the mound with Darrell Hamilton the scheduled hitter, and let's see. He's acting like he's trying to explain why he may be going to do something here. Darrell is a left-handed hitter, of course.
Yeah.
And Steve's thrown a lot of pitches.
Yes, he has. Steve has thrown a lot of pitches in the game tonight.
And he is going to make the change.
80 pitches and Steve Dreyer's gone. Now, Ranger fans and Steve Dreyer may not be happy here, Greg, but this was going to be a night where the Rangers are going to win this with pitching by committee.
And he did a fine job. I mean, he is not allowed to run. You can't do better than that. And though he does not get the win, believe me, and this may be something Kevin was telling him, he says, I noticed this. I noticed what you did. So while Steve gets some congratulations on the bench and James Hurst comes in, let's remind you that tonight's game is being brought to you by Motorola Pagers. Never miss an important call. Pocket a pager from Motorola. With the new bullpen locations far out in the outfield, it takes a while for the Brewers to get in, so it gives us a little time to get set to tell you about them. James Hurst will be making his debut here in this ballpark.
James, a left-hander that won his way onto the team in spring training. Cut fastball that moves low in the strike zone, a curveball, and a changeup. He was the Cleveland Indians' 32nd round draft pick in the summer of '89, but didn't start playing until '90. Was released in the spring of '91, signed by the Rangers as a free agent, and then started moving up the Rangers chain from Gastonia to Charlotte to Tulsa to Oklahoma City. And he came on very, very quickly in the offseason. Pitched after the season in winter ball, and the Rangers were excited by his progress, and I think he surprised a lot of people that he forced his way onto this staff to start the year. But here's another young man, Greg, who probably is pitching for his immediate roster position. Yeah, this is going to be the survival of the effective, I guess, and certainly Steve did his job. And now, and I'll tell you what, this one of these deals, he doesn't want to go down to the minors regardless, but the fact is, even if he does, they all remember this, and there are always injuries, there are always opportunities to come back. This also may push back the return of maybe some of the other pitchers until they're even more sure that they're ready to go, because they would have enough confidence in giving Steve another shot in the starting rotation. Meanwhile, this Hurst appearance will be his first since the 10th at Baltimore. Monday night, the Rangers will get a look at two of their rehabbing people. Dan Smith and Roger Pavlik will pitch in an exhibition game Monday night at Tulsa. In fact, you folks who are seeing us in Tulsa right now, you might want to go out and see two people pitch for the Rangers who will impact the staff this season.
Oh, buddy, Dan Smith. Spent some caravan time with Dan. Dan wouldn't let me live down the fact that I erroneously introduced him in Tulsa as saying he makes his home there. He doesn't. It was Rick Helling, and I got them confused, and Dan's never let me forget that. Now I gets to go back and pitch in Tulsa. Say hi to Dan for it.
Where his home is.
I've moved him there. Darrell Hamilton will be the hitter. Rangers play him around almost exactly the same defense as they used for Diaz, with Gonzalez and Hulse way over toward left and shallow.
Whoa, my, look at the shift. If Hamilton hits a ball up over the head of Doug Strange, it could be an inside the park homer with his speed. Or, I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever seen the Rangers give any left-hand hitter more of the right field line than the Rangers right now are giving Darrell Hamilton?
Rob Ducey knows he might have to run a lot if the wrong thing happens with the pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. Big thing now for Hurst is to throw strikes, as he does there, to even the count 1-1. He likes a lot of young pitchers when they first get their shot, a little nervous and control not quite there, and that was the case in his earlier appearance. From Plantation, Florida, lives in Sebring. In fact, for a while in spring training, he might have even been working his way into that 5th starting spot. He was pitching that well when it wasn't known how long Pavlik was going to be out. Hurst. 1 ball and 1 strike, the other Hurst, Bruce. Boy, just missed the corner on that one. It's 2 balls and a strike. Get both these guys on a radio show together, didn't you?
Yeah, I had Bruce and James together in Florida. Really interesting, because they both have the same last name, both throw left-handed. Neither throws the ball particularly hard, and James was saying he liked to watch Bruce because he felt that's the type of pitcher he'd have to be to survive.
Well, hopefully he will stay healthier than Bruce has over the last 2 or 3 years. As far as the runner at first base, it's still Listash, and he, of course, can run. The reason we point out that the knee injuries have slowed him down a little bit, and of course he missed a lot of games last year. He still stole 18 of 27. And that one misses wide as James thinks he's being squeezed a little bit. He's down on the count, 3 balls and a strike.
And though Listash has had the knee problem, that doesn't mean that he is not running because of it. He's already attempted a couple this year.
He had 54 successful swipes his rookie year. 3 balls and a strike. Best laid plans come in to get the left-hander and don't even give him a chance to swing the bat.
What can I do? I'm sitting here now.
Yep. Now Seitzer, a right-handed hitter. And Ward, who can hit either way, so the percentages are gone. The Rangers shift the defense around again now with Hulse going back into a more straightaway center field position. Seitzer has bounced to Palmer and also bounced to Clark.
Rangers, by the way, have no further action in their bullpen, so they'll sink or swim with Hurst probably at least through the Jaha-Nielsen pairing, wouldn't you think?
Seitzer hit .280 against left-handed pitching last year for a .269 overall, so slightly better. There's a strike at the knees. No balls and a strike. Home plate umpire, by the way, haven't really mentioned them. Al Clark, Dan Morrison, Larry Barnett, and Greg Kosk make up the crew.
Suddenly analysts are all over the booth. Jim Sundberg has just walked in.
Yeah, eating his popcorn.
Telecast.
Eating his popcorn. Catching the action. Way high, and it's 1-1.
Tried to overthrow that ball, it appeared. He rushed. Got ahead of himself, opened up a little bit, and the ball flew high in the strike zone.
1 ball and a strike. Rodriguez. And now Kennedy's going to come out of the dugout.
I think Kevin may be uncomfortable with as uncomfortable as his defense looks. And here he is. He's called them all in. That's exactly what it was. I think Kevin thought, wait a minute, let's get everybody on the same page here. Who's covering what's play on? Everybody can understand what we're doing here.
Well, they think they've got it straight, so let's see what happens. Rodriguez with a word for Palmer before he heads back to the plate. Kennedy back to the dugout.
It's a little easier to double Seitzer these days than it used to be, because he's encountered a little trouble with the wheels over the years, and he's lost a step or so.
Runners at first and second. Listash at second, Hamilton at first, and stepping off. Missed outside. Well, both pitchers, both Dreyer and Hurst, are not able to hit that outside corner of the Al Clark strike zone, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Rangers lead 1-0, however, but the Brewers threatening for the 2nd inning in a row. Listash at second base, Hamilton at first, 1 out. Foul ball from the crowd.
Think of James Hurst as a sort of right-hand or left-handed Steve Dreyer. He does not have overpowering stuff. He must operate around the edges of the strike zone and not in the middle. He doesn't have any one particular pitch that when he is in difficulty or behind in the count, he can say, I'm going to just rear back and fling it.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Ripped it into left field fair. Here comes 1 run. That one hung up, and he got all of it. The 2nd run is headed to third. He's going to come to the plate. There will be no relay as it's dropped, and the Brewers take the lead on a 2-run double by Kevin Seitzer on a ball that looked like it was up right in the hitting zone. Well, the Move by the Rangers doesn't pay off as Hertz walked a man and then gives up a 2-run double.
Maybe the look of a manager second-guessing himself slightly again. Watch the location to Seitzer. He got it in pretty well, but Seitzer turned on the ball. That's a hard ball to get around on and hit fair.
He did, except that slow motion kind of was misleading. It was in, but it didn't have much speed on it at all. It wasn't as hard to hit as it maybe looked on that slow motion.
You know, you look at the location, though, in the swing, and it's hard to imagine that ball was hit fair. Maybe not hard to imagine it was hit hard, but hit fair is another matter.
Hitter now is Ward with Seitzer at second base. 2 runs in. 1 goes to each pitcher. On the 5th, Manuel Lee comes in with the flip throw. 2 outs. Moving to third, Seitzer.
Now here's where Hurst has got to put the disappointment of giving up the double behind him. He did it to get Ward. Now he's got to wiggle out of this inning. The Rangers obviously have started to get Wegman a little bit last inning. Now the question is, stop that run over there.
Hold it to 2 and let's see what can happen. Jaha had 2 singles in his at-bats against the starting pitcher Dreyer. He hit them both in the same spot. 1 hoppers between third base and shortstop. Rangers have some more action now on the bullpen. Matt Whiteside is up.
Another Jimmy Dreyer signee, and here come the Rangers again to meet over signals.
Manuel Lee, in a situation like this, what you were thinking is he can't tell what the signal is from Pudge, and he wants to know because it makes a difference as to which way you're kind of going to lean on the pitch. Breaking ball, for instance, coming into the right-hander, he's going to lean toward the hole. That's where he's likely going to hit it. And he may be having trouble seeing the signs or figuring out what signs they're using. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
Now, if you're Hurst, you got to be aware of the fact that the hitter on deck is left-handed, and you don't want to give in to Jaha.
Well, he's not. 3 balls and no strikes. Yeah, it's a situation where he ought to probably just go ahead and walk him. Let's see. Rodriguez is not out. He's out of the crowd. Yeah, they're going to walk him.
Good call, manager Lucas.
Well, you got the base open. You're way behind on the count. Pitch to Nielsen, who is a left-handed hitter since he gave up switching a couple of years ago. Second walk given up by Hurst, and the second intentional. Or the second walk, I should say. The first intentional. He has a double as the only hit. Nelson bounced out to Strange, who made a glove hand play, glove to first baseman flip, and then struck out his 2 previous at-bats. Not hitting the spots at all, and he's having trouble hitting the spots with left-handed hitters, and that's, of course, who he's in to pitch to. 1 ball and no strikes. High fly foul in the crowd, out of play.
Nielsen looked like he was a little angry at himself for that pitch. I think Nielsen got a pitch he thought he could drive. It was soft, it was up in the strike zone, and he's just a bit out on the front foot.
Yeah, he got a little bit down under it. Nobody got that. 1 ball and 1 strike. You got it. Fine.
Yeah.
There's a liner. That's Gonzalez there. 2 runs in the inning on the 2-run double by Kevin Seitzer, and the lead changes hands. We have played 4 1/2. It's the Brew Crew 2, the Rangers 1.
Miracles do happen.
With the widest spectrum of religious programming available on television today, the Faith and Values Channel is committed to building bridges of hope and understanding among people of all beliefs. Our mission is as clear as our name, to make faith visible in your community. That's why 65 different faith groups actively support the Faith and Values Channel, because seeing is believing.
Coming April 18th to Longview Cable Television, Channel 36.
Grand Am, Bonneville, Sunbird, 3 Pontiacs that are sure to be turning heads this summer. When Pontiac made this trio, they had you in mind: performance, styling, comfort, and affordability. Well, J.O. Williams in Gladewater provides the affordability, along with service after the sale, and the feeling of knowing you got the absolute best deal on a sporty new Grand Am, a roomy Bonneville, and a sleek new Sunbird. So what are you waiting for? Come get the one made for you. Check out all the new Pontiacs at J.O. Williams in Gladewater.
Any new Ford, Isuzu, or Subaru, and we'll give you a free 12-pack of 7-Up, plus a General Cinema Movie Pass.
And you might have a chance in the Cash Cube from 103.7 KVIL. Grab all the money you can in 30 seconds.
Plus, register for a chance to win a new 94 Mustang convertible at Westway or Tom Thumb stores.
Westway Subaru.
Airport Freeway at O'Connor near Texas Stadium.
The beautiful ballpark in Arlington as we are getting set for the bottom of the 5th inning. Milwaukee leads the Texas Rangers 2-1. Greg Lucas here along with Norm Hitzges on HSE. First night game ever. Here's Rob Ducey. Ducey takes a strike. Rob bounced out his first time. Still looking for his first hit this season.
You know, it's only 0 for 7.
Yeah, that's not much.
Every hitter in the big leagues, you know, likes to get the first one.
Rob's been making pretty good contact, but he's not been able to hit it hard enough to get it through, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
The Ranger run off Wegman was the first he allowed this season. His first outing, he went 7 innings, didn't give up an earned run.
Ducey up and in. Ducey, though he is, as you said, it's up to 0 for 7. He has not struck out yet. He's just not smacked that ball where they aren't. And still has it as he pops it in the infield. Reed, the second baseman, will make the call, and the catch. 1 down. Timing just a little bit off, and Rodriguez will be the hitter now with 1 out. Fudge reached on an error by shortstop Listash back in the 3rd inning and was wiped out on a attempted sacrifice bunt by Lee, forced at second. Rodriguez won his 2nd straight Gold Glove Award last year. There's a shot that's curving into the crowd foul, out of play.
You know, Greg, you mentioned earlier about Robin Yount being sort of a part-time player. Kevin Kennedy told me on a talk show in the off-season he wanted to talk to Robin about coming back and playing with the Rangers, and if there was any interest in maybe taking a run with somebody, that he didn't feel Milwaukee was going to be a pin contender, and apparently Yount was not interested in being a player for somebody else.
Rodriguez to deep center field, going back toward his Hamilton to the warning track. It is up and caught by Hamilton. Hamilton off the wall makes the play, and he has made the play at the ballpark so far.
What a catch by the man the Brewers call Hambone. First of all, on behalf of Darrell Hamilton, thank you, Rangers, for padding the center field fence. They'd have been taking him off here with a putty knife. Look at this catch.
You notice a little hesitation there for a moment. Now Rodriguez says, oh, darn. Just an over. 2 outs. Darrell Hamilton covered a lot of ground and got back to a point which is 400 feet. And he hit the wall. Manuel Lee tried to bunt for sacrifice, bunted it too hard back to the pitcher Wegman, and lead man was forced out. Rangers down 2-1. Fly ball to the left field side. Ward drifts back a few steps. Rangers are finished in the 5th. We've played 5. It is Milwaukee 2 and Texas 1.
Research has demonstrated that the average effect of carbohydrate.
No other beverage has been proven more effective than Gatorade.
Consuming Gatorade during exercise has been shown to improve
absorb 30% faster than water.
Gatorade contains the optimal balance of carbohydrates and water.
No other beverage has been proven more effective at replacing
nothing as much as your deep down body thirst better.
Scientifically tested, athletically proven. Only Gatorade Thirst Quencher is liquid technology.
For that deep down body thirst.
Come on to play!
I don't have a lot of time to shop around for the lowest prices, so I go to Cheap Auto Parts. They'll match any store's price on any identical item every day.
What would you do with a Motorola pager?
Mom's not home! Pager.
With a Motorola pager, the important people in your life can always reach you.
Ooh, this works!
The affordable, portable Motorola pager.
In the beginning, there was baseball. But starting this May, baseball will never be the same. So get in the game. Join the Fantasy Challenge. Coming to a ballpark near you.
Been climbing for 7 years. Name a mountain, I can visualize it in my head. I know how steep it is, what kind of grip to use. Some people think I'm crazy. But hey, just because I'm blind doesn't mean I can't see.
The American Foundation for the Blind. We help those who cannot see live like those who do.
Center field bleacher fans looking on to our center field camera as they're getting some camera time. Boy, even they're lit better than they used to be in the old ballpark in center field. Here's Jody Reed. And Reed takes the first pitch inside the first full inning now. At least James Hurst hopes it is a full inning. He pitched 2/3 of the 5th, giving up one of the 2 runs. And because of that, he stands to be the pitcher of record on the wrong end.
Good news for the other part of our HSE family. The Houston Astros win tonight 4-2. Greg Swindell scatters 5 hits over 8 innings. 7 strikeouts, no walks.
See, they've gotten good pitching now from Drabick and Swindell their last 2 starts. The Astros, I think, are 5-2. And by the way, those of you that are watching Ranger baseball and have been with us from the start will be able to catch the Astros game replay and see how they did it following our game. And very shortly, I think we will be joined by the folks in the Houston market that were watching the Astros. That was one of the road telecasts with the Astros tonight. And so we'll be begin to see about half of this game as well.
One of the Cinderella, or perhaps for a man, Cinderfella stories of the spring. Tony Eusebio with a 2-run home run for the Astros.
Boy, he had a red-hot spring.
He had about 600 for the spring.
High fly ball, left field. Gonzalez a few steps over. Yeah, he created a spot. I mean, that was a team that was going to go with 2 catchers, but he made them go with 3. Here's our Gatorade game summary. Steve Dreyer went 4 1/3 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts. Clark had an RBI single, following a Gonzalez triple for the 1 Ranger run. Wegman so far has gone 5 innings and allowed his only run of the year on 5 hits and a strikeout. He had a perfect earned run average of zip coming into this game in his first start. Hitter now is Bill Spires, the DH.
Oops.
1 ball.
Spires had a chance to break this game open in the 4th inning with the bases loaded and 2 outs and grounded out. The Brewers then got Dreyer and got him out of the game the next inning.
But you know, one other thing I'm missing, we're being picky. The clock is a little small in this ballpark, and there's no temperature thing here.
True.
We're going to miss that when it's 100 degrees in July.
Whoops.
Want to welcome all the folks that have been watching the Astros win tonight. This is the Ballpark in Arlington. You're getting a chance to see the first night game ever from the Ballpark in Arlington. The Milwaukee Brewers lead the Texas Rangers right now 2-1. We're in the top of the 6th with 1 out on a 3-ball, 1-strike count to Bill Spires.
Spires had to dodge Hurst's pitch, and then he realized he was right in the line of Rodriguez' throw back to the pitcher, and he sort of dodged that one. Imagine the ignominy.
This is James Hurst, the second Ranger pitcher. Foul away. This was a game that Jack Armstrong, who Astro fans familiar with from his years in the National League, was scheduled to start, but he has a little bicep tendonitis. Steve Dreyer drew the start, went 4 1/3 innings, and when he left, no runs, but 1 run was charged to him. It was on base as Kevin Seitzer touched Hurst for a 2-run double. But here he strikes out Spires and now has retired the last 3 straight. 2 outs here in the 6th. Greg Lucas here along with Norm Hitzges, and hope that those of you who didn't catch the earlier exhibition telecast in the ballpark in Arlington, you're getting a look at it tonight, be as inspired by as we are. And apparently Mr. Hurst, that's his first strikeout. And a hitter is Pat Listash, who scored the first Milwaukee run. He bounced to third in the 3rd and singled and scored in the 5th. And has singled again. Listash came into the game hitting .474, second in the American League, and has not lost any points. He's 2 for 3.
If Pat Listash is back to what he was 2 years ago when he was the Rookie of the Year, then all sorts of miseries ruined last year and dropped him to .244 and cut the heart out of his running game. Brewers will be a lot more formidable because then, Greg, Listash goes back to the top of the order, and with Listash and Hamilton hitting in front of Vaughn, this club might manufacture some runs.
That ball is fouled into the crowd, the Lowe's level to the right. No balls and a strike. Alex Diaz has been called out on strikes and fly to left. Diaz, a switch hitter. There's Phil Garner. There's a guy that all the folks in the Houston area are very familiar with. Scrap iron. Played and coached with the Astros. Still makes his home during the off season just north of Houston. There's a strike called, and it's 0-2.
Diaz, one of 4 switch hitters on the Brewers, along with Listash, Ward, and Jose Valentin, the backup shortstop.
Slap to short. Manuel Lee with the flip to Strange. That retires the side. Top of the 6th is finished. Rangers coming up in the bottom of the inning with a top of the order. Hull, Strange, Canseco, Gonzalez, and maybe more. It's 2-1 Milwaukee.
Because most of our flights are short, this is what our meals look like on Southwest Airlines. It's also what our fares look like. Southwest Airlines, it's just plain smart. Southwest Airlines has one of the best on-time records in the country.
Mr. Smith, you're early.
Just something to remember. Southwest Airlines, it's just plain smart.
The time has finally come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. Now you control the flow of paint, so the Wagner power roller can cut jobs in half. Smoothly and evenly, it can cover areas twice as fast, and cleanup is a snap, so you can finish one job and do another. Get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
Living out here where the gators are dinner isn't easy on a truck like me. So when I'm blue, I have an idea that works. I poured down a bottle of Berryman fuel injector cleaner. Boop, boop, boop. Wow, I feel friskier. And I guarantee you'll feel it in your vehicle, too. Or you get your money back. Gotta run. Performance that goes beyond the ordinary. Berryman fuel injector cleaner with a money-back guarantee. Feel it.
Well, you know, sometimes we try to paint you a picture, but if we can't do it, you can come and look at some that are already painted. This is the Sports Legacy Gallery, which is underneath the, oh, I know where it is. It's, you can see where it is. We're pulling back. It's under the office building in center field on the front, on the ground floor. That's right near Vandergrift Park, which is out behind center field. All some of the ballpark at Arlington. David Hulse leads it off and takes a ball. David is 1 for 2. singled in the third after grounding out, opening the ball game for the Rangers.
Third time through the lineup for Wegman.
Sounded like a broken bat to Reed. 1 out. A reminder that this copyright program is presented by the authority of Major League Baseball and the Texas Rangers and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written permission of Major League Baseball, the Texas Rangers, and Home Sports Entertainment is prohibited. Doug Strange swings through the first one, and it's no balls and a strike. Doug has singled and bounced into a double play.
Back to the book on Wegman. Remember we talked about in the middle innings he has a tendency to get up a little bit and the ball starts to get in the air and he can get hurt there. If Wegman historically works through that, he starts to get ground balls again and can toughen up for the 6th and 7th. I think it's legitimate, Greg, to think of Bill Wegman as a 7-inning pitcher these days, and not much more.
There's a fly ball, deep right field. It is over, and it is out of here. Doug Strange hits the home run porch, and this ball game is tied. It is his birthday. Happy birthday, Doug.
Jets out of here.
Second row, I guess the first or second row of the upper deck in the home run porch in right. His second home run, his 4th run batted in, and here's Canseco in a new ball game, 2-2. Canseco walked in the first and flied to right, leading off the 4th. Jose has been on base in all but one game this year. There's a shot. Oh. Backhand by Listash. He rises. He fires. He doesn't make it. But what a play by Listash on the infield hit by Canseco. What a play that was by Listash.
It appeared that Jose was asking first base coach Mickey Hatcher, how did he get that ball? And this is very, very close at first base.
Good call, though. Good call, but it was extremely close. That is the toughest job. In fact, on Monday, the umpire at first base, who is now behind the plate, had some trouble on some tough calls, it would appear. Some replays that tended to show that he had missed a couple.
Umpire?
Those are tough. Yeah, they sometimes
miss a couple?
Yeah, they do sometimes. They really do now. Here's Gonzalez. One ball. That ball was hit like a shot, and the position that Listash had to get it, very deep. And then that's why you got to have an arm over there to make it that close.
There's some stirring in the left field bullpen.
Hard shot foul. Canseco was off with the pitch.
It appears that Garner has seen Strange tattoo one into the upper deck, and then Canseco rip one, and he wants somebody ready in his bullpen.
Well, he's seeing kind of what you were talking about before. The last 9 hitters, 4 hits and 3 fly ball outs. That's 7 out of the last 9. And this guy can hit a long fly ball. Juan Gonzalez, the 2-time defending American League home run champ, has hit 1 this season. He tripled his last time up and scored the Rangers' first run. Canseco goes, slips and falls, and they'll get a double play. Well, they're going to get a double play the funny way. Canseco slipped and never got going, and then Gonzalez was doubled off at first. He's easily retired, and Rangers get 1 to tie it. Let's hope Canseco not injured. It appears he is not. We have reached the end of 6. It's tied at 2.